Welcome back to the PSN Commanders Network. It's your boy Tone, aka Tech. I am back with another video. If I get to all glory to the Lord, without the Lord, I will not be here. So hope God's open doors and fadeways for all people in the Lord's name. Today's video, it's a new series on the channel. This is my first look series as we take a first look of every opponent for the 2025 NFL season. We'll start with the New York Littlemen. I'm sorry, I'm disrespecting the Giants today. I'm sorry. All disrespect here. But verse of the day before we get too far into it. James chapter 5, verse 16 says follows, therefore confess your sins to each other and pray for each other that you may be healed. The prayer for a righteous person is powerful and effective. You make mistakes in your life, just confess to someone that, it's in your brotherhood, and I pray for each other and you two will be healed. So let's get right into it. I got a special guest. First time this guy be on the channel. I don't know when he started doing his content, but bro be going crazy. Bro be going crazy, man. I'll introduce him and then introduce himself and let him find where you can find him at. And his channel going nuts, bro. Like already at 2K subscribers, a lot faster than I ever hit 2K. So doing some good things over there. Welcome, Grant, from the Full Command Podcast. What's up, bro?
What's going on? I appreciate the love, man. That was a beautiful intro. I didn't know what we were gonna get today, but I really like that. So thank you for having me on. Blessed to be here.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate that as well. First of all, where can they find you at? We can find your YouTube channel, X/Twitter, Instagram, wherever you have
100%. Full Command on YouTube, Full Command Show. Either one of those should pop up. My name is Grant Mitchell. I'm really not big on Twitter. I'm trying to grow the presence, but honestly, like Twitter's just never been my thing. I'm more like I kind of just stalk and I kind of see what all the news is out there. But if you do want to follow, it is at Commanders HTT, and it says Full Command is the name, so you can find me there.
Yep. So shout out to Grant. First of all, man, I just want to congratulate your early success on your channel, man.
I appreciate that, man. It's funny because so I ran track in high school and college, and track is it's an interesting sport because it's not like football, it's not like basketball where you can score a lot of points but have a bad game. Or in football, if you're a lineman, you're not going to show up on the stat sheet, but you could have a great game. With track, it's like exactly how fast you are because you can't lie about that. And so anytime I would do well, people would say like, "Oh, congratulations, man." And I always hated accepting it because it's kind of a toxic mindset. But I was like, I don't want to accept the thank you because that makes me feel like I did something. In my mind, I'm still working towards something. So don't get me wrong. I appreciate it. It's very nice of you to big me up like that. But we're still on the road, man. You, me, everyone else out here, we're still working. We got a lot to do.
Facts. Because we are still the smallest YouTube community when it comes to subscriber counts out there. Got guys, Cowboy fans got 200,000 subs and Eagles fans with 100,000 subs and all this other stuff. And it's like, yo, we do have some work to do. So I appreciate that. That humbles all of us out there, even the biggest creators in our community. So we got a lot of work to do. As real Robson tell me. Till we get that plaque, got a lot of work to do. So
for sure. Hey, but we got the right people. Let me say that. I'm a big fan of a lot of the people out there. I think it's coming, especially now that the team's good. Winning solves everything. So I think it's coming.
Well, yeah, I think it's coming for everybody. We all going to eat. So that's woo! Can't wait. So how are you doing today? First and foremost, how's everything going for you?
I'm good, man. When you sent me the link to record the video, I said, "Hey, I need about 5 minutes." I was just finishing uploading a rant. I was listening to the sports junkies on
oh my god.
They had a New York Giants reporter on, and I actually like that. So that's actually something that I tried on my channel. I had an Eagles fan come on because I think it's actually cool to get the perspective of your opponent, your rival, whoever, because they're going to see things that you don't want to see. So I went into the interview expecting to hear that, and it just turned into this Giants slop fest. He's like, the Giants are better in every way. The Commanders are going to be bad, but he wasn't saying what was going to go wrong with the Commanders. He wasn't really giving definitive reasons why the Giants were going to be better. So I just posted a rant saying, like, dude, you're a Giants reporter. You kind of have to uphold the integrity when you go on a radio show, and he just didn't do that.
Yeah. That's what some of these Eagle guys do too. I remember for the NFC Championship game last year, dudes like, yeah, they're going to blow them out. They're not good. They don't even. I don't know what just happened.
You're good. I mean, if you just want to pick up right where we left off, you can just edit it out.
Yeah. I'll edit that out. But yeah. A lot of Eagles fans did that. Like, but prior to the NFC Championship game, like this guy, like I guess this radio show, it's like, yeah, we're gonna blow him out. Jalen Hurts is light years above Jaden Daniels. Didn't give no reasons why. He didn't say experience, nothing like that. Just we're gonna blow these guys out. I mean, they did. So I mean, it's right. But he didn't get no reasons why. So, whatever. But today's video is a first look on the New York Giants. And unlike that Giants beat writer you were talking about, we're going to be unbiased here and talk about things that the Giants will do well, unlike that guy, and things I don't think they're going to do as well. And how can we exploit these weaknesses of the New York Giants? So I know their division rival. We know these guys. We know they had a fantastic offseason. And what is the one thing that stands out to you about the Giants and something that we should be concerned about?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't really think the answer to this question is not really something that's hidden. I think it's pretty obvious. I personally think the Giants have the best defensive line in the NFL. I think the worst case scenario is probably top 5. Now, I'm happy that one of our biggest upgrades was the offensive line, right? Like Laramie Tunsil, we know what he is. Even if he's coming off, quote unquote, his worst year, he was like the 3rd best tackle in the league. So you can work with that. Josh Connolly Jr. was a bit of a question mark because he's a rookie. And when he started out, he was back up to Andrew Wiley and all the reports at training camp where he's not playing well. Well, reports have now said that as time has passed, he's improving. I thought the best performance from an individual in the entire preseason for the Commanders was Josh Connolly in that Bengals game. So I do have confidence with him. And let's not forget, he played Abdul Carter in the Big Ten championship game, 35 pass protection reps, didn't allow a single pressure. So I do have confidence in our offensive line. With that being said, you're still taking on an elite front. Thibodeau, Burns, Lawrence, Carter, they're going to make it difficult. So if the Giants come out first drive, get a sack on 3rd down, at some point, get a strip sack. It's those plays that change the momentum of a game. And even the better team, the Commanders could be the better team here. But if it's just one big play that separates the two teams, the Giants' defensive line is very capable of creating that big play. So that's what I would be scared of.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. I do agree with that. That the defensive line of the Giants, if not the best, like you said, I think it's top 5. No Drake, by the way. Not that big. It's top 5 for sure. It's just monsters like Bull Carter, Kayvon Thibodeau, Spexy Dexy, and got on Brian Burns. And they have Darius Alexander, the 3rd round pick they drafted out of Toledo. So another guy that can throw in there in certain run fits or certain pass fits that he could fit and really disrupt it. And they can go a 5-man front time on 3rd down, play one linebacker. So, hey, 1-on-1. Can't double nobody. What you want to do now? What do we do? Don't know what we do here. This is tough. All right, guys, got a block. Jaden, run for your life. I don't know. I don't know. So definitely the biggest strength on that team is the defensive line. What's the biggest weakness you think about the Giants that we think we can exploit this week?
Yeah, so I mean, I think there are a couple different areas. The offensive line is interesting if Andrew Thomas doesn't play, because I know the Giants, they're more confident in the depth that they have. They've moved Evan Neal to guard, and he's now a 2nd string. They drafted Marcus Mbow, I believe, out of Purdue, which is weird because Purdue's not really a football powerhouse, but he's a good prospect. So I know they feel better about their offensive line right now, but they still were, I think, 26th in pass blocking, 27th in run blocking last year. And if Thomas doesn't play, their best offensive lineman is out. So that's one area. But I will say, if you have a great pass rush, but you have weak corners, or if you have great corners, but a weak pass rush, those things can't work independently of one another. You have to have some cohesion. And no matter how good the Giants' defensive line is, we know their outside corners, Deontay Banks and Paulson Adebo, they're not good. That's easily one of the worst outside corner pairings in the NFL. And I don't say that to be disrespectful. It's just the fact of the matter. We've seen the Commanders are not the only team that has torn these guys up. So even if Burns and Lawrence and Carter and these guys, if they're getting home, well, if the ball's coming out quick and they can't stay in front of them, it's all for nothing. So I think there's going to be, no matter how good the defensive line is, I think there's going to be a real strain on those corners.
Yeah. I agree with you about Tay Banks. I think Paulson Adebo is not a bad corner at all. I do think in New Orleans he was put in some really tough positions because New Orleans is not a good football team in general. And on top of that, their defense was good at times, but wasn't consistent enough. So I do think that he's not a bad corner by any stretch, but he is a little inconsistent. I agree with that. Tay Banks stinks. Weird.
Drew
Deontay
Phillips is
Banks
good.
stinks.
I like their nickel, but
Yeah, Drew Phillips can play ball.
Yeah.
I was telling Commander fan, hey, Drew Phillips is a pretty good corner in that nickel spot now, okay? Debo might have a little difficulties at times with Drew Phillips, but I think Terry's going to have a nice day in his debut versus Paulson Adebo. If he's like, if his conditions right and all that, then gosh. The second outside receiver gonna have a good old time with Mr. Deontay Banks. Gonna have a good old time. Noah Brown. You may want to hit a starter on fantasy or something. You got flex spot or something.
You know what's really interesting about the Commanders receiving core, and it's so funny because we talked about it as a weakness throughout the entire offseason, which was kind of cheap because like Terry and Noah Brown weren't there. If your top two guys aren't there, obviously it's going to look worse. Even now, still though, you don't look at it as one of the best in the NFL. But one thing they can do is they can create matchups. And that's kind of all the NFL, the NBA too. Like NBA's hunt the mismatch in the pick and roll. Come up here. You're going to give me the space. I'm just go attack. Look at who the Commanders have. They have Terry as the bona fide X, who's this contested catch master. You have Noah Brown, who's this weirdly large and physical receiver who you can isolate him against smaller corners, and he's going to win those matchups because he's not just big and burly like an Anquan Bolden was. No, he can actually move. He can actually get open. And then you've got Debo, who has led the NFL in yards after catch for 4 seasons. And then you've got Jalen Lane, who now is this 4.3 speed burner. So any sort of matchup you want, you can kind of get to it really no matter who the other corner is.
Facts. As long as you can isolate them and use pick plays and creative ways to get these guys open, I think the offense can feast on anybody. So we talked the biggest weakness and strength for the Giants. What is the biggest strength for our team, the Commanders, going into this game, in your opinion, and how can we exploit them with our biggest strength?
It's kind of a weird answer to say, honestly, because it takes on multiple forms. I'm going to say offensive unpredictability because looking at the offense, like I just mentioned, you have so many. You can put Noah Brown in the slot if you want to. I don't think you will much, but you could do it. Debo can play the slot. He can be at the Z. He can be in the backfield. You can have Jalen Lane in the slot. Just imagine a world in which you have trips to the right, and then you're in 11 personnel. Then you motion Debo into the backfield. Now all of a sudden it's 2 running backs. You've got the defense trying to scramble, make these adjustments. You isolate a mismatch with a linebacker. There's just players who can do multiple things. They can fill in multiple roles, combined with an entirely new offensive line that's going to completely change the blocking schemes. There's going to be a lot more gap schemes. We've heard that from Dan Quinn throughout the offseason. You've got a running back committee. We don't even know who's going to dress. Like C-Rod might not dress. Bill might not dress. Maybe they dress 4. We don't know. There's just a lot of questions that are yet to be answered. And I think you'll start to see them in week 1. But because there's no tape of it right now, I think it's going to be really difficult for the Giants to game plan.
Yeah. Very similarly, I would take this we take this back to when we had the old name. Let's just take 13 years ago. Let's go back in time real quick. That week 1 game, we had Robert Griffin. You didn't know what the heck they're playing for. Like Kyle Shanahan got the whole offense. Said, hey, we're going to run a college Baylor type of thing for you, okay? Go have fun. I was like, okay, cool. And then all this zone read and read option and all that. Like, everybody's like, what is this? We haven't seen this. How we stop this? And it's like 40 points on your head top. Boom. Crap. This is bad. So, I think very similarly, like you just don't know where these guys are going to line up. And I think another Swiss Army knife we do have is Austin Eckler. I know a lot of people talking about Debo's that Swiss Army knife. You got 2 of those guys. Austin Eckler can put up in a slot. He can run routes and get open and things of that nature. You can put him back in the backfield as a running back. You can give him carries if you want to. I'm going to be very careful about that. I ain't trying to get Austin hurt here. We need Eck, so I don't want to get Austin hurt out here. But you can do multiple things with Eckler, too. So it's like the multiple things you can do with Debo and Eckler is kind of like, bro, where are these guys going to line up at? Where's 1 at? Where's 30 at? Where are these guys at? So you put Noah Brown in the slot. You throw Jay Lane outside, put him in the slot. So many things. Who's going to dress that running back? Like, this another thing. Like, who's dressing that running back? It's so unpredictable. How did the Giants game plan? It's like, if it also, I will get to that in a second because I would know your opinion on this specific topic because I am getting tired of hearing this. I heard it since March. We'll get to that in a moment. But it's like, yeah, what do we game plan for? Do we just game plan for Jaden Daniels and that's it? Like, what do we do, like, as a defense? Like, do we blitz the crap out of him? Oh, I forgot. He was great against the blitz last year. Do we play 8 men in coverage? Okay, we do that and cover everybody. He'll just run for 100 yards. Like, it's another thing. How do you actually game plan for this offense? I completely agree with that. It's our biggest strength.
One thing, let me just pick up real quick because you just brought it up, and I actually want to throw this out there too. We've talked about the strength of the Giants as their defensive line, right? The problem is if you get penetration, which is what you want penetration because you want to sack the quarterback. If you do that and you don't make the sack immediately, now you've just lost a player on your defense. There is a missing gap on the offensive line because whoever won the bat, like if Abdul Carter rips through the right and he gets past Josh Connerly through the C gap and he's in the backfield, goes for the sack, misses it. Now there's an open C gap for Jaden Daniels. And the play, you've lost the play because it doesn't matter if you won initially. If you don't get him on the field, he is going to get a first down. He's going to get a big gain if you leave him open like that. So the Steelers actually did a really good job of, if they didn't win the rush immediately, they basically just stopped and they held contain. The Giants,
they must rush.
Yeah, the Giants would be wise to do that. But the problem is the best players on their team are on the defensive line. So you're taking away your strength.
Yeah, you're subtracting your strength to keep him in the pocket. And if you do that, he might just dice you up. So it's like, it's a kind of lose-lose situation. I'm trying to tell Giants fans, like, bro, like, if you must rush, he just dice you up.
Yeah.
And if you send a pack at him and you don't get to him, he might still dice you up or run for $1 billion. Like, this kid is insane. Like, it's hard to say, we'll stop this kid today. Okay, bro. All right. What they say, you can't stop him. We're going to hope to contain him. I hope you contain him, but I don't know if y'all can tell Jayden no, because he's ridiculous. Speaking of Jayden Daniels, before we get to the biggest weakness of our team, I want to address this real quick. What are your thoughts about this whole sophomore slump thing? And do you think it's warranted? Do you think it's a bunch of cap, a bunch of crybabies saying, oh, he's going to have sophomore slump because they don't have Jayden Daniels? Like, what are your thoughts upon this? Is there any validity to it? Like, let me know what you think.
Yeah, so I understand why people say it because, first of all, it's an easy thing to point to. You get more film. Yeah, I get it. We all say the same stuff over and over. We know how it goes. Also, just the way things work in America, we don't like to see people stay on top for too long. We loved the Chiefs when they were going against Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. We loved the Chiefs. Now all of a sudden they're winning. It's like, oh, I hope the Eagles beat them. Eagles win. Now it's like, well, I hope somebody beats the Eagles. We just don't like sustained success. So the same people who were saying Jayden Daniels is going to have a sophomore slump are the same people that are saying Caleb Williams is going to have a great second year. Bo Nix is going to have a great, Drake May is going to have a great second year. There's just no logical consistency to it. If we're actually talking ball and we actually want to know, well, Jayden Daniels' biggest weakness was deep middle field passing. So if he wants to fully unlock his ability as a quarterback, he's going to have to get better at that. But what we know is if Jayden Daniels is the exact same person, if he doesn't improve at all, he's a top 5 quarterback because that's what he was last year as a rookie. And he was doing it with a worse offensive line. He was doing it with worse receivers. And you saw Jayden improve as the year went on. Let's not act as if this was like a phenomenon that just started from the gates. He was not good against the Buccaneers. That first game against the Giants in week 2, he was better, but he didn't score a touchdown. He didn't throw a touchdown until week 3, and it was to an offensive lineman. Teams had the game plan for this man in the playoffs. So all this stuff about teams having film on him, learning how to guard him, you think defensive coordinators all the way up through the NFC Championship game, which Jayden still played well in. I know Eagles fans will lie to you and tell you he didn't. Jayden had a higher QBR than Jalen Hurts in that game. His QBR was like 81. So he still played really well in the championship game. And you're going to tell me those defensive coordinators weren't looking at film, weren't trying to figure out what Jayden did poorly, where they could find margins of success? Of course they did. And they still couldn't stop him. So maybe Jayden doesn't win the MVP this year, but he's going to be very good at the very worst.
I completely agree with that. And another thing, people bring up CJ Stroud, and that kind of irritates me because I'm like, bro, she didn't even have a sophomore slump. He just lost all his receivers. He lost everyone. No, Nico Collins out for 6 games. Stephon Diggs towards ACL. Tank Dale, God rest his soul. God bless him. God dang. He going through it. Tank Dale's going through it. He's brought in John Mechie, who they just traded away, by the way. And Robert Woods, who's not even on their roster. Like, what are we talking about? Like, what? Asinine. Blasphemous. Get out of here. If they bring up Robert Griffin, here we go with this. All right, so I had to debunk that too. Look here, bro. One dude was all in for week 1, come off an ACL and LCL tear. The other guy didn't get hurt. One guy can't read defenses. The other guy can read defenses. One guy is 6 foot, 200 pounds soaking wet, while the other one's 6'4", can tower over a daggone offensive line and see what the heck is going on. 2 different ball players. One guy had to scrap the whole offense because he didn't freaking understand it and play a college offense. The one has some college principles to it, but it's still a pro style offense. So it's just 2 different guys. I mean, I think the coordinators were pretty similar when it comes to like stature around the league, because I loves Kyle Shanahan and Aaron thinks Cliff Kingsbury is a darn good coordinator, but debunked that too, because Jaden had a better rookie year than Robert did. Like, Robert turned the ball over less. That's about it. That's the only difference. But Jaden was better. Got to a conference championship game. Robert was up 14-0 in a playoff game and got hurt, and everything was held in the handbasket. So I'm just tired of the whole sophomore slump thing. Will be statistically the same, Grant? Probably not, right? Probably not. But no, is he going to be bad? No. So all you Eagle fans, Pigeon fans, I'm disrespecting y'all. I'm tired of y'all. All you Pigeon fans, you Little Men fans, you Cowgirl fans, shut up with your mouth. Put some respect on my quarterback's name, okay? Let's get to the biggest weakness on our team and why you think it's a huge weakness, and can the Giants exploit it?
So coming off of last year, it's hard for me to. It's going to be on the defense. Let me just say that, because the offense ahead of the defense. Of course, sure. Yeah. So last year it was obviously the run defense, and there were problems with the secondary too. But the run defense, I think Joe Jr. It might have been Dan Quinn. It was one of those two. They said that you have to earn the right to rush the passer on 3rd down. And I thought that was very well said, because the Commanders didn't earn that right very often. And all we've heard throughout this entire summer is, we're coming after. We're playing man coverage. We're coming after you on 3rd down. And basically every single 3rd down of the entire preseason, cover 1, cover 0, man blitz. We know what they want to do. So they're going to strain that run defense, and it needs to hold up. And it's not just the guys on the front lines. It's not just Deron Payne, who's in a contract year. Javon Kinlaw, who's in the first year of a contract many people think that the team overpaid for. It's actually the linebackers. And this is something that I pointed out back even before I started the YouTube channel, back after last year's draft, when they drafted Dom Hampton, who obviously not with the team anymore, but drafted him. They drafted Jordan McGee. It's like there's a very clear focus of adding speed in the middle of the field, because I love Bobby Wagner and I love Frankie Louvu, but they are not going sideline to sideline. They don't have immense tackling range. They're outstanding at what they do. But if you compare them with somebody who has that speed to go sideline to sideline, and you run up against Saquon Barkley, a Bijan Robinson, someone who can make people miss and use their speed to escape and create these big plays, you need speed in the middle of the field. So I say all that to say that I think the biggest question, the biggest weakness is definitely still that run defense. But the Commanders have obviously made some changes to try to address that. Again, they've beefed up the front line, the average height and weight. I ran the numbers, but I think they added like an average of 30 pounds to their offensive line or defensive line. Kane Medrano and Jordan McGee, they have speed. They can get out and cover. So if whoever they're playing finds some early success running the ball, it wouldn't be a huge shock to me to see more 4-3, more 3-4, trying to get speed in the middle of the field out onto the field.
I agree with that. I would say with the additions of Javon Kinlaw, Eddie Goldman's another addition. Shout out to Eddie Goldman for depth and being manager for the run defense. Christian Collision Academy alum. Shout out to Eddie Goldman. Shout out my guy over there. But yeah, I think the run defense is the biggest question mark. I agree with that. But I think the biggest weakness is the pass rush. You lose Dante Fowler Jr., you lose 10.5 sacks out that room. You added Von Miller, which is that's cool. That's cool. It's a 36-year-old Von Miller now. This ain't Denver or LA Rams Von Miller, but still serves for pass rushing situational pass rusher, I meant. But I just think you don't have an alpha. Go get the quarterback. Like, you don't got a guy say, hey, bro, we don't got Max Crosby. Go get that dude. Yes, sir. I don't have a Micah Parsons.
Neither does Dallas.
Oh man. Oh man. Had to choke him. But yeah. I don't have Micah Parsons like Green Bay got. Dallas is stupid. I don't have that guy. But I think similar to what the Buffalo Bills did, like Gregory Rousseau and all these other guys, they're not like prime edge rushers, but they all contribute to one goal. I think that's something we'll have to do this season. Like Dietrich Wise wanted to get 4 or 5 sacks. Dorrance Armstrong, that's the guy I got my eye on. Dorrance Armstrong, that's the guy I got my eye on. I think he's going to break out this season. I think that's the guy I got my eye on. Dorrance Armstrong might get 7.5, 8, 9, double digits maybe. Mm-hmm. Frankie Lou's going to get 8. Frankie Louisville is going to be huge as well. And I've seen him kind of practice with Ryan Kerrigan on edge rushing moves. Interesting. So I think the pass rush is probably my biggest weakness, but I think it's something that can be mitigated by all these guys coming on one accord and actually trying to make the effort to do that and to help the pass rush. So, but run defense is a good one. I don't disagree with that at all. Grant, that one can definitely be the biggest weakness as well going into this game. Speaking of Andrew Thomas, you brought it up. What are your thoughts if he doesn't play Sunday? How you think we can attack the Giants if he doesn't play Sunday?
This is the thing. The Commanders, again, Joe Wood Jr., Dan Quinn, they're not hiding it. They're showing their cards. They're playing man. They're coming after the quarterback. So if the Giants are in third and 5 and longer, they're getting a man blitz. That's pretty much going to be a constant there. And yeah, you have, I don't know what reconfiguration they're going to do. Evan Neal obviously has played tackle for them. I don't know if they're going to slide it around. He gets on the right, he gets on the left. I don't know what they're going to do. Their offensive line wasn't good to begin with, and it's going to be getting even worse in this situation. And they're just going to have to be prepared for that. Like you talked about the start when you were talking about the Giants putting 5 guys on their defensive line and forcing a bunch of one-on-one matchups and pass protection. Well, it's going to be the same thing coming the other way. You're going to get Payne and Kinlaw, maybe Johnny Newton. We saw he had that in that Patriots game. He had a great exit stun, and he was able to get a sack fumble. Maybe if you want speed, you could bring Jacob Martin off the edge. Von Miller is going to be your third down guy, obviously. There are still some options, even though the Commanders don't have that standout player. They do have speed rushers. They do have power rushers. They do have size. They do have bend. So depending on the situation, they can pick what's right for them. And the Giants, the pressure for them is going to be just like what it was for teams last year. Win the early downs, win the running downs, force the Commanders to honor you so that they can't pin their ears back and come get you on third down. So I think I would say that would be the goal if I'm the Giants offensive coordinator, is let's get to 3rd and 4, and then we'll worry about converting on third down from there.
Agreed. I think that's something the Giants want to do. They got to run the heck out the ball, take the air out the ball, make it easy for Russ to convert on third down. But if they're in a bunch of 3rd and 8s and 3rd and 10s, 3rd and 7s, it's going to be a long day by Andrew Thomas. This actually might get ugly. For Russell Wilson, that is. If he's in 3rd and 10 and they got 5 guys on the line, it's like Frankie Lou on the left tackle, or it's Marcus Mabeau, or it's whoever it is. I forgot the swing tackle's name, but whoever it is, if they move Evan in on the left tackle, like you said, and Bronson Nelson at right guard, or whatever, I don't care. Whoever it is, it's gonna be a long day for them. They're gonna throw Louisville on them, they're gonna throw Jacob Martin at them, they're gonna throw Von Miller at them. It could get very ugly for the Giants passing game if they don't do that. What is your biggest one-on-one matchup in this game before we wrap up and all that?
That's a really good question. You have to give me a second. Actually, no, I got my answer. I'm gonna give you two answers, kind of. It's gonna be Malik Neighbors and Marshawn Lattimore, or Malik Neighbors and Trey Amos. I don't know if they're gonna have someone traveling with him. I don't know if they're just gonna stay anchored on their side of the field. Don't know how the Giants are gonna align Neighbors, but with the Commanders wanting to play this man coverage style, what they're basically saying is, we know we're going to give up big plays because you can't guard players, especially great players. You can't guard them one-on-one for 5+ seconds. All that needs to happen is the Giants' offensive line just holds up in pass protection for a couple of seconds, and someone's going to come open, probably Malik Neighbors. So they're willing to trade that for the possibility of getting a sack on third down, getting a sack fumble, forcing Russ to step up in the pocket when he's not ready to, bad throw, and it's an interception. They're willing to trade big plays. So the question for Marshawn Lattimore, Trey Amos, is how good of a job can you do at limiting the big plays in the other direction? They're going to be stressed. The team wants these tall, physical corners. They want to put a lot of pressure on their shoulders, and you have the talent to do it with Amos. You have the production to do it with Lattimore, assuming he's healthy again, but they just got to go out there and prove it. And when you go from, no disrespect, but when you go from practicing against Luke McCaffrey and Jalen Lane throughout the entire offseason to now all of a sudden it's Malik Neighbors, it's a big difference. So they're going to have to get ready and they have to adjust pretty quickly.
I completely agree with that. I think my biggest matchup, I'm going to go on the other side of things. I think it's Terry McLaurin versus Paulson Adebo. Would be my biggest matchup because I ain't gonna lie to you. We know Malik gonna eat, man. Let's cut the nonsense. He's gonna have his 10 catches for 75, 80, 85 yards. I don't think he'll hit 100. I don't personally. Ain't no St. Juice out there. There's not Emmanuel Forbes out there like he had in week 2 of last year or in week 9 where it was Michael Davis. Like we were talking about. But I think they will play like, I agree with the man concept, but I think they'll play like press and bail type of situation where they press on the line, sprint and bail, and kind of give them a little cushion. They might give up slants and digs and things of that nature. But I don't think they're gonna be like, all right, bro, we're gonna play man, delete the airspace. I'm right here, the receiver right here, like these. Hey, what you gonna do? Like, I think it's gonna be some type of cushion so they have a little bit of wiggle room. They get a 5-yard, 6-yard slant. They'll eat that, but they're not gonna be, all right, bro. Hey, man, if it's a slant go, then it might be cooked. But we'll see. But yeah, I think it's on the other side of the ball. We haven't seen Terry the entire time. Terry had the contract dispute. Finally got paid. We haven't seen him all preseason. We haven't seen him since OTAs for real. So we'll see how Terry McLaurin looks. I am very intrigued. I know how Malik Neighbors is going to look, like a dog. I mean, I know we know Terry's a dog too. I'm not trying to disrespect Terry. I love Terry personally. We both love 17 on the chat, but I want to see how Terry looks. I'm excited for that. We won't do a score prediction because this is a first look, but I do want to do one more thing. I want to preview this one game that's tomorrow night, 8:20 standard time. Going to be very interesting game here tomorrow, and it is this game, which is the Dallas Cowboys versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles are 8.5-point favorites. Who you picking here and why? And we'll wrap up today's video.
Oh man, I would love to say that's gonna be a fun game. I'm still excited. It's the start of the season, but like we could have gotten a much better matchup. I think the right answer was the Commanders, but even if you want to take us out of it, I think you could have given us Eagles versus so many other teams. It would have been a better matchup. The Cowboys were gonna get blown out with Micah Parsons. They're gonna get blown out without Micah Parsons. Dak's coming off the second season-ending leg injury of his career. They can't run the ball. They can't stop the run. I don't know how they're going to rush the passer without Micah. When these teams played last year, the combined score of their two matchups was 75-13. It's banner night for the Eagles in front of their home crowd. I just don't see how they don't smoke Dallas.
I tend to agree with you mostly. I would say the one chance the Dallas Cowboys have is a shootout because they do have CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens and Dak is back and things of that nature. But yeah, I don't think this game's gonna be close. I think Philly gonna put up 30 on these boys, and the Cowboys gonna play catch up the entire game. And you know how Dak does in second half when the game is kind of under wraps and under siege. He wants to go have garbage stats and all that. So the game will look a little better statistically than how I looked on the field. But I got the Eagles by 10, 30-20. I think they run away and hide, go up by 17. Cowboys score a late touchdown and make it look more respectable. But they're getting taught from the floor up tomorrow. It's going to get very ugly and very humbling for these Cowgirl fans tomorrow. I completely agree. But that is going to do it. Shout out to Grant from Full Command. Anyone did not get the beginning of the video, where can they find you? And I appreciate you being on, bro. This is fun. Hope we can do it more often.
No, yeah, for sure. I would love to collaborate with, everybody in the Commanders community. Like I mentioned, I had an Eagles fan on my channel. I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be cool if we actually build a whole NFC East community. And whether it's game previews, reactions, stuff like that, I think it would be cool. But I appreciate you giving me the opportunity. My name is Grant. I am on YouTube. It's Full Command, the Full Command Show. It should pop up if you just search it in your little bar there. And my Twitter, which I don't use a ton, but it is @CommandersHTT. So you can check me out over there.
Yeah, man. So like, comment, subscribe to this channel. We're going to roll to 8,000 subscribers. Hit that subscribe button, the like button, and the share button. And please subscribe to Grant if you haven't done so. I very appreciate that. We rode the 3K for you, right, bro?
Yeah, 3K.
Yeah, man. He'll get there.
Road to 100K. Road to 100K.
It was 100K. But I like saying baby steps. So we rode the 3K, but hopefully all of us will have a plaque on our wall one day, so we all have 100,000 subscribers. That'll be fun. But yeah, guys, have a great one. Hail to the Washington Commanders. We're gonna put belt to you know what on the New York Littleman on Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock Eastern time, and the Cowboys are going to get destroyed tomorrow night. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what J Tuck say. I don't care what Law Nation say. I don't care what Mark Holmes say. I don't care. Y'all are getting dismantled tomorrow. Okay? Sorry. Get over it. Till next time, peace. Y'all be easy, man. Till next time.